We're coming up on 5 years of Microsoft Loop, and its future is a little bit cloudy, we'll call it. A couple years back, I viewed it as Microsoft's attempt to take on Notion and make it this cool tool in the Microsoft suite. I don't think that's as much what's happening anymore. But what is happening? What is the future of it? Well, let's talk about it. Loop is in a little bit of a weird spot. We haven't seen many new features. We haven't seen new integrations. We haven't seen any little bug fixes. We've seen very little. That translates even to the world of social media. If you happen to follow them on, I'm going to call it Twitter, the Loop account, there are a couple stats that you might find interesting. They have had 35 posts in 2026. So in that whole year, 30 of those posts directly mention Copilot. None of them mention the word Loop. Strange, okay? 15 of them mention pages or notebooks, but 0 that say Loop pages. The word Loop does not appear a single time across all of their social media in 2026. It's a little strange. I don't have the conclusion for you. I don't know exactly what that means. It feels a lot like they were working on Loop. The Copilot, kind of the AI paradigm came around and they said, let's take the people over here and have them work over here. And that means everything on Loop just kind of plateaued and halted. And it didn't feel like it's going to be this monumental new tool. They wanted to just take the good stuff, put it in this other tool, and move along. A few years back, Microsoft announced this concept of a fluid document, a fluid working area. It was back in 2019, and it was this thought of what if we could create something on our computers that wasn't tied to a document. It's something that could take multiple forms and different tools. And what that ended up becoming is not a fluid document, but it got wrapped up into the Loop brand. So Loop workspaces and pages and components showed up everywhere. Well, AI has taken over the world, so to speak, and Microsoft realized that that fluid component, that thing that lives within Loop, is actually really helpful in the AI world. So when you prompt Copilot for something, it gives you an answer. And sometimes you might want to adjust that answer. You might want to give it a slightly different framing or tweak a couple words. And so what they did was say, instead of creating this alternate editing surface for the results of Copilot, what if we took the core of Loop, that fluid document concept, and put it within Copilot? So that is what happened. When you create a Copilot prompt, down on the bottom, you'll see a prompt that says, edit in pages. And that opens up a little side panel. And that is, in of itself, Loop. It creates a Copilot page in your personal Loop workspace, which I don't know if they want you thinking about. It's really about your Copilot pages. But just so you know, it's technically using Loop under the surface. That personal workspace thing, I feel like I need to touch on that for a moment. If you've been around for a little bit, you probably know how we feel about storing things in your personal space that is potentially meant to work and collaborate with others. That's a no-no. We're big on getting something into a shared space, which you can then iterate on in the context of other people who might be privy to that information or might need to collaborate on it with you. And they don't make a good path for that right now. They say create in pages, and there is no simple way to get it from there into a Loop workspace, something that's a shared organizational storage method. We talk about this a ton in our course. If you haven't heard of it, it's called 365 Foundations. One of our biggest first modules is all about organizational knowledge and how to get that into a shared space. So if the idea is intriguing to you, you can check it out down below. We have a free preview for you to dig in. So back on the Copilot Loop situation, I said earlier in this video that there weren't any features, any changes to come, and that's actually not entirely true. There was something that Copilot then actually fed back into Loop. And that is one concept that, if you're familiar with Loop, you used to be able to hit slash and then be able to say draft page content or summarize page. It kind of created this component on the page where you could then create content with Copilot. And over the last year or so, we've started to see how that isn't the best way to handle it. What we've seen is a lot more agentic AI features where it can just edit it right in the page for you. And so what Microsoft has done is taken some new infrastructure from Copilot, integrated it into Loop in a way that allows you to actually edit the Loop page right from Copilot. That was the news that I was given. I tried it and it didn't quite do what I expected. I asked it to adjust the page with a slightly different tone, and it said, great, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna adjust the page according to these bullets. Let me know if you need anything else. And it didn't do anything. And so I said, okay, great, go ahead. And it said, great, I'm gonna adjust the page according to these bullets. And it still didn't do anything. And so, like I said, I don't know if there's a little hop that is missing there, but it at least thinks it can edit the page for you. I have seen this concept work in Copilot pages where you give it a reprompt and it says, okay, let me do some work for you. And it highlights all of the words that it needs to change. And it's super cool. So like that exists somewhere. I don't know if it's 100% folded into Loop yet, but I know for a moment they removed all the Copilot functionality from Loop because they said, we don't want this weird component thing anymore. Let's bring in the new version of Copilot that can edit the page. Where that stands, I don't. At the time of recording, it didn't work 100%. You might experience different. The other update that came out that was super important, we haven't talked about Loop in a while, you guys. I've been kind of waiting to see how things settle. I don't remember when it came out, within the last year or so, the idea of teams-based Loop workspaces. So early on in Loop, you had to create this Loop workspace that you had to have a roster security group with that you would manually assign people permissions to that Loop workspace. And even if you would integrate it within Teams and like display it as a tab, it would always not stay in sync. You would add someone to a team, you'd have to go add them to the Loop page as well. And what they did was say, instead of this roster concept, what if we just said, the membership of this Loop workspace is dependent on this team. So this is the way you should create all of your Loop workspaces with very little exceptions. So if you're still creating Loop workspaces, do it this way. Go into Teams, you create a channel in one of your teams or use an existing channel. And up on the top, you'll see a plus button that says add an app. In that interface, you select Loop. You don't say add a page, you select add an app. And from there, it will say, great, I'm creating a Loop workspace associated with this channel. What do you want to name it? And so on and so forth. And when you go through that creation process, you'll notice now in the little people interface up there where it would normally show 8 people you've shared it with, it's 1. It says this Loop workspace is owned by this marketing team, for example, and that is what keeps it in sync. So if anyone gets added to my marketing team, they automatically get permissions to the Loop workspace. So that is our de facto standard for any new Loop workspaces. They should always be associated with a team. So there's a couple good things that we've seen come to Loop, or mostly good things, a little bit of weirdness, and then there's a little bit of what are they doing here exactly, where they remove things, and we never like to see removal of features. It sort of feels like writing on the wall sometimes. But in this case, it was more of a planner team thing than a Loop team thing. So they announced in a message center post where the planner component, where you would type /planner and you'd be able to pull in a planner board and be able to see the board right there on the Loop page. They said, yeah, that's going to be removed. We're doing some infrastructure updates on the planner side, and we're going to be removing that, and we hope to add it back. None of that felt very concrete to me. I know they're doing some stuff on the planner side with combining basic and premium plans, and there's lots of good work going on there from what I know. But what does that mean for Loop? I don't know. I always liked the idea of being able to pull the different things into the page and be able to see them in the same context. And so for them to say, yeah, it's easier for us to just pull that out for now. I hope, I'm going to be optimistic. I'm going to say they're going to adjust things on the planner side. They're going to integrate the basic and premium plans together, and then they're going to bring that component back into Loop, and it's all going to be a happy world. But I'll say we were a little bit confused when that message came along in the message center. So I'm a little bit just letting you know that. I don't know exactly what conclusions to draw from that, but if you didn't know, you should know. That's maybe why you haven't seen the planner component in Loop anymore. Now it just shows up as a link like the other links do. My production guy just told me I'm struggling to be positive about Loop, and I'm really trying, you guys. I think my core message is if you're using it, please keep using it. Please tell Microsoft that you love it. Please make it a part of your business process. I'm confident that it's not just gonna disappear because they're using so much of that infrastructure. It might just change how it looks over time. I don't know, but I'm interested in what you think. If you have any thoughts, questions, comments, concerns about this, I'd love to hear them in the comments. It's moving a million miles an hour, all this AI stuff, and I know it takes a lot of resources, but I don't want Loop to get left behind in the dust of that. Hey, and one more thing before you go, if you're in this Microsoft world and you're actually curious about, does my business use them well? Should I be doing things differently? We have a simple solution for you. We have a quick couple minute scorecard that you can take. We'll also leave that link down in the description. This is a couple questions to say, are you doing things this way or are you doing things this way? And us giving some guidance about ways that you could maybe be doing things a little bit better and making the most of use of those tools. So if you want another resource to dig one step deeper, I'd point you down to the link in the description. Okay, I'm done now. That's all. Move along. Watch the next video. We'll see you later.